Welcome to the 5 Keys to Communication, where you will learn to transform negative patterns in the way you relate and create enriching relationships. So this is what happens when the strongest contact to Mercury, which is all about talking and listening, is from Pluto. So imagine that your partner has a connection between Mercury and Pluto. So how do they act? Well, they tend to be a little suspicious. And they also, like in an argument or anything like that, they'll be sort of go on and on and on. A little droning, a droning voice. So it can go on all night if you really want to argue, because they're kind of a little anxious, you see. So they might interrogate you about your motives. What are you thinking? So they kind of get a little obsessive, So Mercury's the mind, Pluto is kind of brings up a whole lot of material from the unconscious. So it brings obsession. And the reason that they do this is often because in their childhood they sensed, but they would, they sensed some secretive behavior, something that wasn't talked about, something that was hidden. So there's always this feeling that something is really hidden. There can also be, because Mercury is related to siblings, there can be a sibling who's a bit of a problem, But the whole environment tends to be like a little suspicious. So that's what makes them develop this kind of way of thinking. So what actually happens in the relationship, when it's not going so well, at least, is you can get drawn into very exhausting conversations. And you may start sort of concealing your own thoughts and actions, or if discussions go on for too long, you sort of end up just being silent, or you might try and explain things, but it just leads to some kind of exhaustion. So Mercury-Pluto in a partner's horoscope, it brings this psychological intensity, which can be quite interesting, and also, when it goes well, a sort of in-depth understanding and an exploration of the secrets behind the facade. So if you have this aspect, what are you going to do if you have a Mercury-Pluto aspect? There's this inner feeling that something's being hidden from you. And you want to drill down to find the root cause. It's great if you're a sort of programmer, investigator, if you really have to find something that's hidden. And one of the characteristics of Mercury-Pluto people is that they hate being lied to. But actually, because of their suspicious minds, people tend to sort of try and conceal things in the end. So there's a tendency to evoke exactly what you didn't want to hear, or a lie that not under normal circumstances people just have been open about. Also, there's a thing with Mercury-Pluto that there's the void. There's a sort of silences can make you nervous, and you fill it with words. And the funny thing is also in connection with secrets and being like suspicious, is that you're the one that has secretive behavior. You don't let people know what you're thinking at all, and one of the reasons for this is that as in your upbringing, what was not talked about made you kind of anxious, or there was like jealous siblings who damaged you in some way, or siblings that had psychological problems, or something in school like that, like mobbing, or what do you call it, teasing, etc. Or that as a child, there was a lot of invasive questioning. So what you need to do, you need to research things that are actually hidden. That's a good job for you. If you're having an argument, keep it down to 5 minutes. Don't go on and on, because there's a need. It comes up, and you want to keep going on. So you don't want to let these demons up, because they love it. So the more you kind of dig, the more demons that kind of come up. You have to understand that interrogating people is anxiety-driven, and anything that's anxiety-driven doesn't have good results. And you have to understand that people will hide things from you if you're invasive. So when you're conscious of this kind of behavior, you learn how to transform the negative, relax in conversation, and offer your thoughts only when asked to do so.